Welcome to my video. Today I thought I focus on remembering the silence. And I mention remembering the silence because finding it would not be an appropriate word to use, simply because we've never lost it. Deep down our soul is silent. And I believe that we all know what that silence is like. But because our own egos, are so fearful, we keep looking for distractions and noise and drama. And in doing so, I believe I'm not connecting with my own soul. For the soul whispers. And to hear the soul and to allow the soul to show me each and every one of the experiences I'm having in my life and how they benefit me, there is a need for silence. And I know it's hard. I myself am having difficulties finding that silence, or remembering the silence. But it is doable, and I think, for me, it is necessary. And I know in the past I found all sorts of excuses that I'm busy, I haven't got the time, oh, hey, my ADHD brain doesn't let me. But it's not true. I have learned that I can overrule all of these excuses, or even biological considerations such as ADHD, and allow myself to connect with silence. And it doesn't have to be for long. A few moments at a time is a good enough start. Learning to be with our own selves and not being afraid of what we might find if we are sitting in silence, away from the hustle and bustle of every day, away of the sounds and noise of our own mind, the ego that wants to keep us tense and afraid so then we can perhaps survive, which of course is not necessary. In my view, connecting with our inner wisdom, the wisdom of the soul, is a lot more powerful and is the only truth in this world, namely that connecting with the wisdom is powerful. Connecting with that fear and that feeling of survival, it's disempowering, in my opinion. And so I'm going to invite you to join me if you want in remembering silence for just a few moments today. So please remember, when you actually do this exercise, to find a quiet place. No driving, no operating any machinery, not doing anything. Simply finding a space where nobody will disturb you. And if you need to pause the video whilst you find that space, it's fine. If you want to go ahead, we'll go ahead in a moment. Just by the way, one thing that I found is very helpful is to sometimes use an eye mask to block out the world, to give me that more of a profound experience. So if you're ready, we're going to start now, and I'm going to close my eyes to connect with whomever is coming to this session today. And I'm going to invite everyone, as I do myself, to focus on the physical body. And just notice how tense it is. The very fact that we are awake means that there is some necessary tension to keep the body either upright or awake. The cells are awake, so they will be busy. But there is unnecessary tension too. And I'll invite you to just focus on that for a moment. Where is the unnecessary tension in your physical body? Or rather, the physical body that you inhabit in this lifetime. Notice if you wish to allow yourself that difference between my body and this body I use as a vehicle in this lifetime. And this body is important for I believe and I know that I have come here to have certain experiences in the physical body constrained for my own benefit, for my own soul's expansion, of knowing more and more experiences of this earth world and other worlds. Notice if you can remember the silence between the words. Noticing the breath. Notice the silence, maybe as you breathe in, or maybe as you pause for a moment when your lungs are truly full. Holding that tension to invite the mind to switch off and find the silence, and then breathing out. Maybe remembering that silence when you breathe out. Searching deep, deep, deep within the mind to find a place where the memory of the silence is stored. That's a place of peace, deep harmony with the universe, with God, with the source of love. That is the place, the channel through which the soul communicates with this brain of this body we are inhabiting right now. I invite you to stare at the light behind your eyelids. Really allowing yourself to get lost in what you see without naming, defining, nothing like that, just simply staring and remembering the silence. Even if it is for one moment at the time. Remembering the silence will mean no thinking for a moment even. Floating in that space of love, of peace, of being and not doing. Of connecting with the truth and relinquishing control over the physical body. Since the aim is to not control and rather to face the truth that the body functions on its own. With very little from us. We might find a silence, letting be. Remember that silence. staring at the light behind the eyelids maybe once more. Noticing the discomfort of the lack of distraction. You may wish to let yourself invite in comfort at just being. Remembering the silence. Just sitting still. Remembering the silence. Letting peace settle in the physical body, from the brain to your toes and fingers. As you might still continue to stare at that light behind your eyelids. Floating in that space of silence. With nothing to do. It is just for another moment or two. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, remember the silence and your deep, deep, deep connection to it. Peace and love are silent. There are deep, deep feelings that arise within us and envelop the body. And invites us to stillness. Remember the silence. And as you focus on your breath right now, I'll invite you to just take a moment to put the experience of today in a nice little bubble, store it somewhere, your mind, your heart, even imagining that you can store it somewhere in a physical body. You can always access it by thinking about it, or even maybe touching that part of the body. To remember the silence. And I'd like to just say that this is not a therapy session. If at any time you've been triggered in any way, please seek some support, either from a therapist or any mental health practitioner, or emergency if that is the case. This is just to invite you to return to the natural state of being. And this has been a spiritual technique which has some mindfulness elements of being in the present, and to hopefully allow us all to feel closer to the true nature of who we are, which is deep love and deep peace. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day, and if you wish, you may or may not practice this once a week, once a day, once a month, or whenever you feel like it. This video is always here for you if you feel you liked it. I wish you a peaceful day.